I got my blood drawn the other day, and I just remember the needle hurting a lot. Like, I usually don't mind needles, but this one hurt a lot, and now I understand why, because now my entire arm is bruised. So it's 9 p.m. I've just made dinner. As I was preparing the ingredients, the flashing started. The doctor that I talked to once I came here said that if the flashing continues for more than an hour, then I should go to the emergency room. So once the flashing started, I started a timer, and we'll see how long this persists. Hopefully it stops within the 1 hour mark so that, I have nothing to be too concerned about. We'll see. I mean, luckily it's not happening when I'm in class or taking a test or something. I can sort of sit down and chill in the comfort of my own home. We'll see though. I hope it stops soon. In my experience, the flashes, there are precautions I can take, like staying warm, not drinking or eating any stimulants like caffeine or alcohol. Alcohol isn't a stimulant, but anyway. But the really unfortunate part is sometimes the flashes just happen all of a sudden. There's nothing you could do to prevent it, and it's just having to press pause on whatever is going on in life at the moment to sit down and wait for at least an hour, probably more, dealing with this, hoping that it doesn't turn into anything worse. It's already a big challenge, a big part of my life with my family, especially with my mother. So it doesn't hurt, by the way. I'm grateful for this one thing, that there's no pain. It's just waiting to see if it gets worse or if it stops. Okay, it stopped. So it's only been 20 minutes. So I guess I don't have to go to the emergency room. I'm good, I think. I'm good for now, yes. Let's hope that the next time it happens will not be during an important time, like during an exam or during a presentation or during a musical performance. But I also know that these things can't be controlled, and I have to not be stupid and force myself to keep doing whatever it is I'm doing. But for now, I'm good. I am currently going through day 2 of my period, so I should probably go to sleep soon. I have 4 classes tomorrow from 8:15 in the morning to 7:40 at night, so better charge up the best I can for the long day ahead. Why are men? I hate how these tiny interactions with stranger men take up so much of my mental space for, the wrong reasons. It's not like I have a crush or anything. Like, in so many cases, I always think about men because I fear for my bodily safety, and I think that's such a bullshit societal arrangement that, we women think about men so much because, they're afraid of being in danger. So the topic this time is my interactions with stranger men. So a bit of context. I was at the gym a few days ago. A guy came up to me and he asked for my name, and eventually he asked me for my number. He was like, "Oh, what are you doing later? And can I take you out?" And I decided that he was being respectful enough, so I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure, I'll give you my number." And as for the taking out question, I was like, "Okay, text me first." And I didn't say this, but I meant text me first. I'll gauge if you are a psychopath or not, and then I'll make my decision. So after the gym, we started texting, and I replied sporadically, I guess. And then he started asking some very strange, sometimes sexually explicit questions. And so from there I was very put off, And eventually I made it clear that I'm currently a university student, so my studies are my priority, and I was not interested in a romantic relationship with him. But that's not the point. But yeah, I really didn't like that interaction. So one question that he kept on asking me was, if I wasn't interested, why did I give him my number in the first place? So usually there are two answers for this. The first is simply because I wanted to in the moment. I thought he was polite enough, I thought he was respectful enough, and so I felt comfortable in giving him my number in the first place. The second reason is in the news. I acknowledge that it's in the news in the first place because it's sensational, it's out of the ordinary, but we hear the news every day, and so we get these events exposed to us every day. But in the news, there's often these events of women experiencing a lot of physical violence for doing something small, like turning down the affections of a stranger. So for example, I saw on the news just yesterday about a woman who refused to give a stranger her number and then was hit in the face with a brick, and then like it broke her jaw. So in the news you hear so many stories of women who, turn down the affections of men and then are faced with extreme violence, like they get acid thrown on them, or they get bricks thrown at them, or they get stalked and harassed and all of that. And so because of the constant exposure to these events, we're kind of socialized to turn to de-escalation tactics, smiling when you're catcalled, and then agreeing to give someone your number in the moment, because anticipating the alternative if you were to be rude or say no, which you have a right to, by the way, but anticipating the consequences of that is fucking terrifying. So from the last point, I guess what I want to say is how we should educate young boys and men about this. I would say please try to understand the rationale that we have behind doing a series of things that might be hard to understand. The rationale behind what might seem like overreacting to you. For people who initiate this conversation, who initiate this interaction to hopefully become something more with a stranger, this means being extra careful about communicating clearly, about communicating boundaries, about being respectful and non-threatening. And this also means that if the person that you're interested in says no, it means no. And it's not their job to educate you on why they made the decisions that they made. No means no. So, please stay safe, and please don't be idiots, and please don't be assholes. Yeah. Okay, and as for my homework from this interaction and similar interactions in the past, I think I'm definitely gaining experience. So I'm learning better how to act in the moment, and also maintaining fluidity after the inciting incident, and knowing that any flux, any change in my decisions are all valid. Another thing that I've learned is that there is such a thing as letting these interactions take up too much mental space, letting these interactions take too large of a reaction from you. I think I'm learning that these boys are not as powerful as I fear. And so in response, I also have the power to be a frigid bitch. And as long as we're in a well-lit public space, I will most likely be fine. I'll gauge the situation, of course, but if I feel like I can react a certain way without being in danger, then I have the power to do that. And in any interaction, it's partially a psychological battle, right? So if I am mentally the stronger person, then I can come out on top. There are benefits to being a frigid bitch sometimes. Most times. Well, depends on who's defining the situations, right? So, yeah. It's a new day, but I just want to give an example of what good, clear communication, maintaining respectful boundaries looks like. So, this is between me and the new tenant who is from Morocco. So there's a cultural difference, but that doesn't mean that levels of respect and levels of precaution aren't taken into consideration. Oh, and it doesn't have to be romantic, by the way. This is in no means romantic, but the same precautions apply simply because of the dynamic of you being two different genders. And I mean, it's unfortunate that these precautions must be taken in the first place, but I think it's still, a norm that we should all follow these days.
Five, six, seven, eight. Dance with me in my backyard, boy. Looking super fine in your corduroy. Drive me round the block, we can go in a loop, and we'll turn the vibe up on some good boy band tunes. I feel the fresh air, I can feel your eyes staring. I'm not gonna lie, I get a little bit scared. My heart is on wings and living in dreams, and at the top of our lungs we see.
I found cactus fruit at the supermarket, so I'm gonna try. I've never had these before. In French, they literally translate to barbaric figs, or I guess spiky figs. So I'm gonna see what that's about.
But I don't wanna know. Feel the fresh air, I can feel your eyes staring. I'm not gonna lie, I get a little bit scared. My heart is on wings and living.
Smells like a mixture of like grass and papaya. I mean, it doesn't really taste like anything. Yeah, it's fine. I'm having another one because it's really hot and I have nothing else to do, so I want to eat something. I've not done the dishes yet for dinner, so this is a spoon from the sink that that I'm gonna reuse. Tastes actually a bit like melon, but not those sweet ones, like the slightly more watery, less sweet types of melon. But the texture has a lot of very hard seeds. Those are gonna turn up in my poop tomorrow.
Backyard boy, you make me
색깔 귀엽지?
Take me to your best friend's house, going round this roundabout, oh yeah. Oh, take me to your best friend's house. I loved you then and I love you now, oh yeah. Don't take me tongue tied, don't wave no goodbye. Oh, take me to your best friend's house, marmalade, we're making out, oh yeah. Oh, take me to your best friend's house. I loved you then and I love you now. Don't take me tongue tied, don't wave no goodbye.
Don't keep me tongue-tied, stay up all night. I'll get real high, slumber party, pillow fight. My eyes on your eyes, like Peter Pan up in the sky. My best friend's house tonight, at both beats feel better by.
Don't take me tongue-tied, don't wave no goodbye. Don't take me tongue-tied, don't kiss me goodnight. Take me to your best friend's house, go around this roundabout, oh yeah. Oh, take me to your best friend's house. I loved you then and I love you now. Don't leave me tongue-tied, don't wave no goodbyes. Don't leave me tongue-tied, don't leave me tongue-tied, don't wave no goodbye. Don't leave me tongue-tied.
I don't know why, but it makes me feel safer to know that I have a knife by my bedside desk.
Ceilings plaster. Can't you just make it move faster? Lovely to be sitting here with you. You're kinda cute, but it's raining harder. My shoes are now full of water. Lovely to be rained on with you. It's kinda cute, but it's so short. Then you're driving me home, and I don't wanna leave, but I have to go. You kiss me in your car, and it feels like the start of a movie I've seen.